What's going on, everybody? Welcome to High Off Blue Hour, and in this video we are going to be going into Davinci Resolve, and we are going to be taking a 2D image and rotating it within a 3D plane in Fusion. And this is something that can be just generally very useful with creating motion graphics, certainly things like intro screens with logos and different things like that. So there's a multitude of uses for knowing how to do this. So let's get our Fusion composition dragged into the timeline, and this is just going to be a 7-second clip. And so once we have a Fusion composition dragged into the timeline, we're then going to go into Fusion. We have our media out node. We're going to move that over to the right, and then we're going to be working with just an image of Bigfoot today. So we're going to drag this image into Fusion. It's just a PNG image of Bigfoot. I'm going to go ahead and rename it so that we can be organized and just kind of organized, basically. And then we're going to connect Bigfoot to the media out node for now. And there he is. And then what we want to do is we want to right click on our mouse, go to add tool, and go over and up to 3D, and then go over and down to image plane 3D. Click that, and that is now in Fusion. And then we're going to connect that to Bigfoot. And then we want to make sure image plane 3D is highlighted, and then we're going to right click on that, and we're going to go up to view on. And we're going to go to left view so that we can see it on the left side here as it sits within the 3D plane, so that just we got our workspace all kind of organized here. So then what we're going to do is make sure image plane 3D is highlighted, and over here in the inspector tab there's a area here where it says transform. We want to click on that, and back here on controls, let me go back here within the inspector tab on controls. This is where you can do things like the lighting and the blending and all of that, of how your image actually looks in that regard. But I'm not going to actually worry about that because we're focusing on movement and rotating and transforming within the 3D plane. So we're going to go over here to the transform section. And so this is where you have all your sliders for moving your image, whether you want to just do kind of side to side lateral movement, just all the different axes within the 3D plane you have the ability to manipulate right here. And keyframing, general keyframing rules still apply here within Fusion. So we're going to just do some basic kind of keyframing here. This is a 7-second clip. So it's made up of like 180 frames. So what we're going to do is, let's see here, let me look at the different parameters that I might want to control. I don't have an actual narrative goal here in terms of what Bigfoot needs to do. So what we'll do is we're going to go down here. You got this where you can get your y-axis for rotation. I'm going to arm all of my keyframes for all of the different positions. This is just how I'm doing it. Somebody else might do it differently. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the keyframe. I'm going to move this all the way to the end, because I'm not going to actually go through just these step-by-step increments in the keyframe. I'm going to move this pretty much all the way to the end. And then I'm going to take this y-axis, and I'm going to actually give it a kind of multiple rotations here to up until not quite 720, but I guess 710. And then I want let's just we'll let it move inch forward a little bit as well. And then we will get we're going to get multiple back flipping rotations as well. So just Again, close to a 720 or close to a 720 degrees in terms of revolutions. All right, so I'm going to leave that there. Let's go back to the beginning of our clip and just see how all of that looks. This is all supposed to happen within 7 seconds. Let's see how it goes. So you see the rotation taking place on multiple different axes. You see it's kind of inching forward as well. So it's doing 360s, you know, laterally. It's doing forward and backward flips, all of that type of stuff. So just a very simple animation within the 3D plane. So let's go ahead and stop it. And this is obviously all for demonstration purposes because, you know, whatever image you're going to use and whatever specific manipulation that you want to happen, that's all going to be up to you. This is just kind of just to show you how simple and relatively easy it is to just take a 2D image, get it into a 3D plane and manipulate it with keyframing, animation and whatnot. But we got to do some more stuff to get this so that our final 3D image animation basically transfers through, so that it goes out of the media out and into our timeline, so that we can actually in the end export it and all that type of stuff. So what we're going to do now is we are going to right click, go to add tool, going to go over and up to 3D again, then we're going to go over and down to the renderer 3D. And now that is in Fusion here, and we're going to take our image plane 3D and connect that to renderer 3D. And then what we're going to do is down here where Bigfoot is connected to the media out, we're going to actually disconnect that by just clicking on the line. And now we're going to take renderer 3D and connect that to our media out node. And now our render is basically transferring completely through out of our media out and into the timeline. So let's go back to the timeline. And now let's actually play, or try to play, our little kind of 3D render animation that we did here. It's probably going to lag, but I will export it and let that play as well, the fully exported version of this. So you can actually, within this video, you will see it in its full motion. So let's press play. And you can see it's going through all the rotations that we, you know, put into our keyframe inputs. There is some skipping and some lag. The timing isn't completely where it's going to be in the end, but you get the idea. And so I will actually export this, and I'll export it with some kind of random background, and I will let that export play in the background of me talking in this video. So you will get a you are right now should be getting a final look at how the final image kind of turned out. But that's just a very simple way to take a 2D image and get it to rotate and, you know, and all of that type of stuff within a 3D plane. That is the video, you guys. That is how you rotate a 2D image within a 3D plane in Fusion. This is something that would be very kind of useful in terms if you're putting together custom kind of intro screens, because this is something that would be useful with like logos and things like that, and it would be useful with text effects and things like that as well. So this is just a very kind of basic bare bones of just showing how certain things function. You can use your own creativity and ideas to really take things to whatever level you want to take them to, and maybe get as intricate as you want to get. So that is the video, you guys. Hope it kind of helps you out. It gives you some ideas on things you could do. I know when I learned how to do it, I immediately kind of started thinking of like kind of just different, maybe like creative visuals and things that you could create with this technique. So that's the video. Thank you for watching. Hopefully I will catch you on the next one.